you got really good at building businesses. Like your wife said, I don't know about your hands. You said it's fine because I know how to build a business. Can you elaborate on that? What's the difference between learning how to be an electrician, plumber, whatever it is, and then to learn how to actually thrive in a business, how to build a business, how to succeed in business? What else do I have to add there after I've learned my trade?
Really simple. There's a phrase that I've coined. I call it M.A.P, M-A-P versus P-A-M, P-A-M. Most contractors come from the trades. So the plumber became a plumbing contractor, electrician became an electrical contractor, etc. So most contractors, what they do is what they understand. It's called a paradigm. It's my view of the world. Mm-hmm. So let's say, for example, I'm a remodel carpenter, and I start my business. What do I understand about business? Well, every day I show up and I do production. If I'm an electrician, I bend a pipe, I pull a wire. If I'm a plumber, I dig ditches, and drill holes, I pull pipe. If I'm a carpenter, I cut lumber and nail it together. And so I understand production because that's my frame of reference. And so they start their business and they get a few friends and relatives that want to do a few projects and are off to the races. Now, we live in a world of what is, not what should be. And what happens is called the third quarter blues, because state, federal, and local government will leave contractors alone for 3 calendar quarters, because that's when you get the maximum penalties and interest. And then the contractor discovers, oh my gosh, I've got to pay taxes. Well, this is nonsense. Yeah, who needs this nonsense?
Well, I pay taxes.
What's this nonsense all about? You know, I'm not going to hang any pictures. I don't need tax. And so at that point, they panic and they'll call an accountant or a tax preparer, and that's A of the PAM. Oh, I got to do some accounting, just get my taxes paid. Then once they've run through all their friends and relatives and their bank account, then they start thinking about the M word, which is kind of a foul word. It's called marketing. Oh my God, I got to actually market. And so then the last thing they'll do is start marketing. And what do? They go put an ad in the paper and use really good words like quality and efficient, you know, everything that everybody uses. And so marketing is the last thing to think about. And bless his heart, he's passed away now. My stepfather had a business for 50 years and he never grew it substantially, but he did that exact same thing. Now, what I did was, you know, when it came time to start my business, I did a lot of research and I reversed that. First thing the contractor needs to do to be successful is marketing. Understand who's your market. What are you doing? I'm going to say that an electrician is going to start a business and has, say, 5-7 years experience. So really knows a trade really, really well. Now, in electrical, for example, or plumbing or anything else, there are varieties of demographics and psychographics. So let's look at the electrician, and he says, you know what? I am really good at new construction homes. I love that work. I understand it inside and out, backwards and forwards. And so that person may want to go and open a business that does new construction electrical. Now, new construction electrical, let's get a little deeper and let's say, I can work on what's called tract homes. I can work multifamily, or maybe I want to work high-end residential. Maybe like commercial restaurants. And so identify the sub-niche and keep identifying those niches, the things that the contractor likes doing, and that's the business to go into. Now, when we first started, because my background was in plumbing, was multifamily and commercial. Yeah, guess what? We did multifamily and commercial. So the first key is MAP, M-A-P, marketing, then accounting, then production. So marketing is understanding what they want to do, delve into the sub-niche, and do some research in their area, because most contractors are effective. Now, I look at hundreds, thousands of QuickBooks files, and I know for a fact, live in a world of what is, I know for a fact that contractors that make a lot of money, it's not about high volume and sales, it's about what goes in HIP National Bank. They keep within a driving distance of their office of no more than 30 minutes, preferably 15. So they decide, if they put a dot on the Google map, draw out 15 to, and in 20 minutes and in 30 minutes. And I say that is your geographic area. Now, within that area, what do you want to do? You know, is it new construction, is it remodel, is it service? And we start delving down to it. And I have a lot of contractors that do quite well once they understand where their niche is. If they understand their niche and what they want to do, then they use, there's a book called Good to Great, the three circles. So there's an intersection between what I'm good at, what people will want to have, and what they'll pay for. And that intersection, those three things, what I'm good at, what people want to pay for, and what they want, that's what we focus on. So then the next step is the contractor, if he's smart, now he's got his market figured out, get a website, get some basic marketing collateral. There's lots of people out there that market. But get that figured out. And then this is the part that separates the highly successful contractors from everybody else. There's a technique that I'm going to share with you, but you've got to keep it secret. You can't tell any more than 100,000 of your closest friends. And they can tell 100,000 of their closest friends. We got to keep this a secret. This one secret, this involves marketing, okay? I know because I've done it, and I taught my crews how to do this. It's powerful. I call it six-pack marketing. It never, ever fails. And I discovered it by accident when I sent a crew into a neighborhood here. It's called Sand Point. It's kind of a upper middle class neighborhood in the Seattle area. And we were doing some work at this person's house. We were replacing all the piping. It was all galvanized, put new copper tubing in. And it's a nice neighborhood. And I thought, our trucks are fairly large. They're big as Susie trucks. And so I thought, man, I don't need problems with the neighbors. And so I took my business card and I went to the three neighbors on each side of where we were working at, introduced myself and said, we're doing some work here in this person's house, and I'll make sure that we have like 2 trucks in the area. We'll be careful not to block anybody's driveway or cause any problems, but if you have any concerns, please let me know. And then I went across the street and I took 6 business cards, and same thing, I knocked on the doors and I said, I'm just telling you, we're doing some work over here, and I'll make sure that you're not disturbing anybody. And it was so funny because the neighbors would start coming over and say, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm replacing all the piping because it's old and corroded. Oh, but that's expensive. I said, not really. But let me ask you this. Do you ever do the dance in the shower, the nude dance? What? Do you ever do the dance? What do you mean? I said, well, you're in the shower and somebody flushes the toilet and all of a sudden you start dancing and screaming. Yeah. I said, well, that's what we do. We fix that. Really? I said, yeah, we fix that. And I said, I can prove it. Would you like to know how? I said, yeah, sure. Have you ever stayed in a hotel? Motel 6, the W, any hotel, it doesn't matter. The cheapest, most expensive hotel. Yeah. Have you got up in the morning with everybody else and everybody showered at one time? And it's all got flush. Yeah. And you never did the dance. She had never thought of that. And we actually had a crew in that spot, and they stayed there all summer, almost 4 months, because they keep going down the road, back and forth and across the street. It was nuts. So it's 6-pack marketing. And obviously I like to eat. So right there in the middle of that situation, I thought, hey, this is a market opportunity. It's hot. And the neighbors got the noise here a little bit, and we had a block party. And I said, look, boys and girls, I said, this is just who I am. So I'll provide the steaks and the potatoes and lots of stuff. Everybody likes to barbecue. But I provided the soda pops and all the drinks and chips. And we had a big block party. And of course, gosh darn it, everybody got a T-shirt with our company name on it. Wouldn't you know that? And we stayed there for darn it all. And we stayed there for a long time. I mean, for 4 months we were there. It was just nuts. And so I taught my plumbing foreman. I said, when you go do a service call, replacing a toilet or a sink or a faucet, take that 6-pack and go talk to the people and say, hey, I'm doing some work over here, and if there's any problems, we're going to turn the water off on their house, and if it affects you, I want to know right away. Tell them it's not going to affect them. We all know that. But what would happen is, what are you doing over there? Well, we're replacing a blah, blah, blah. And hey, your house is about the same age. Yeah, it is. And my faucet's really slow. Oh, that's terrible. So back marketing. So marketing is number one, right? Know what you want to do and then market it. Number two is the accounting. So we tell our contractors, even if they just first get started, it's really inexpensive. Let us set the QuickBooks and get it ready to rock and roll. Because as they do invoices, we just picked up an electrical contractor here locally, and he's doing really well. He's actually following directions about 6-pack marketing, a bunch of other stuff we do. And he's all excited, and he writes an email this morning and says, oh my gosh, my business is taking off, and some of my friends aren't doing so well. Maybe they should talk to you. And I said, yeah, have them give me a call. But, who knows? Any event, so marketing, then the accounting, because in the accounting, I know what to look for. And our QuickBooks, we have a template that I started in 1995. I told Sherry I'm going to, because I didn't like the QuickBooks out-of-the-box template. It was a piece of junk. I said, you know what, Sherry, I'm going to make my own template. I'm going to take 3 weeks solid and just make a template. Well, now this is 2016, and it's almost done. It gets about 50 updates a year. It's almost done. It's a joke. It'll never be done. But what happens when they put the data in, now here's what we do, nobody else can do. Put the data in, and I can pull up what's called WIP reports, work in process. I can pull up job costing reports, and I can dial in and tell my clients, I say, listen, Tomer, you're an electrician and you do work in these areas. And I've noticed that you have a high profit margin, for example, with high-end residential remodel. I don't know why, but you do. And I think you might want to focus more of your efforts on that and less of your efforts on rewiring swimming pools. And all we do is just keep watching the numbers, and I call you up, we chat a few minutes, and said, Tomer, I found that you've also got a niche, for some reason, in restaurants. I don't know what's going on here, but you're making good money there. And Tomer, stay away from the apartment house service repair. It's eating you alive. I don't know why, it just is. And so that's what we do. We use the accounting to find out where the money is being made. And I have electricians, plumbers, general contract, home builders, home remodelers. I've got remodelers that are actually in competition with each other. And one remodeler will do fantastic in high-end residential neighborhoods. And he'll lose everything in the middle-income neighborhood. And I've got other contractors that do fantastic in middle income, and they lose it in high income. I don't know. Actually, I do know why. There's a lot of psychology involved. I just talk to each one and say, this is where you're making money. You might want to put effort there. So marketing, accounting. The accounting helps know where to market. Production is the last thing. And then once they discover this is where you make money at, we go into the P word, which is production. Now, everybody loves what they're doing. I love plumbing. Plumbing loved me for a long time. I still do it once in a great while. I volunteer with some of my clients and go out and work, and at the end of the day, I can't hardly move, and they say, gosh, Randall, you almost got as much work done as the apprentice did before lunch. I'm a little slower now. Okay, but it's fun. Any event, I tell the contractors that it's fun in your 20s and 30s. It's not as fun in your 40s, and it sure is not fun in your 50s and beyond. So here's what we need to do, production. There's an author, one of my favorite authors, gosh, what's his name? Darn it. Michael Gerber. And he wrote several books on process, work on the business, not in it. And then there's another gentleman by the name of Dr. W. Edward Deming. And I did my dissertation in PMP on Deming. And Deming talks about systems. And so I talked to my clients. I said, this is the production. We have the marketing down, like the kind down, and we're going to do this particular niche. So we need to work on our production systems. And I use the example of, would you believe me if I said there's a way to gather hundreds of tons of metal, rubber, steel, cloth, fuel, have a bunch of people put it together that are not the sharpest knives in the drawer. They're good people, not the brightest bulbs in the box, but they're still really, really good people. And have all these people put this, assemble all this metal and rubber and cloth and everything else into a 5-story building, put 300 people inside it, and fly it across the country. Boeing, Airbus, Lockheed does it all the time. No one person in that company knows how to build the entire plane. But everybody working as a team, they can build the plane. It just fascinates me because I have to fly occasionally, going different places. And I never have said it. I never will say it. But I get on the plane, and the first thing I want to do, I really want to say, can I sit in the cockpit and help? I don't I'm afraid, right? I never say that, especially not now. So I always go to the back of the seat, and I grip the arm rails, and there's no atheist on the plane, at least not me, that's for sure. So because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, this entire thing was put together by the lowest bidder, and I'm going to fly on it. Oh my gosh, life is good. Well, the point is that they can build planes, and so I tell my contractors, let's do this. Let's document the process in such a way, and we're going to make it bilingual. And this is very important. It has to be bilingual. Words for women, pictures for men. So we put together a whole series of screenshots and different things on how to do stuff. So for example, for my electricians, a lot of them will put the switches at 48 inches and the plug-ins at 12 inches. And so I say, this is going to sound kind of crazy. Let's go down and get a piece of aluminum square rod, smooth off on both ends, and put a mark, we have a special way to do it, at the different heights. And so take that rod and just lay it up against the 2x4s, make a mark, make a mark, make a mark, not a tape measure. Somebody comes along and they drill at a certain height. And so we develop an assembly line on how things are done, and everything is documented. Now, there's 2 times to build a system. The worst time to build a system is when you're actually doing the work. Now, the best time to build a system is when you're actually doing the work. And this is where a lot of my contractors have a problem. I don't have time to build these systems you're talking about. I said, that's okay. When you're too old to work, then you look back and say, I wish I would have listened. So the key is building these systems and processes. And it's so funny because it's all predictable. All they have to do is document it. Now, once they document it, Tomer, a funny thing happens. They find efficiencies and ways to be a little more efficient each time. And that's kind of the long version of what it is. So how to be successful, marketing, accounting, then production, and working on the business. And that's what they can sell. And that's what I've sold in the past.